Hello, Princess on a Pillow here. I am here to do a review on Love After Lockup, Season 4, Episode 9. It's titled, What's Love Gotta Do With It? Not What's Love um has to do with it. What's Love Gotta Do With It? All right, let's get started. First couple is Chaz and Bronwyn. We see Chaz and Bronwyn driving. They are going to meet Bronwyn's daughter, who is a stripper. Chaz says hello to the daughter, and they pretty much ignore Chaz. So he goes to get the car, and they're talking, and Bronwyn asks her daughter what she thought of Chaz. She met him for 2 seconds. What can she think of him? So the daughter says he is short. She's met him for 2 seconds. The daughter said Bronwyn usually goes for taller, younger, muscular men. So Chaz drops Bronwyn and her daughter off at a hair salon. Bronwyn is talking to her hairstylist, and she tells him that she used to be a stripper. Why do you tell people your business like that? Bronwyn says she doesn't like her daughter stripping because it's a gateway to using drugs. And I disagree. I watch a lot of strippers on YouTube, and there's a lot of stripper shows out where strippers are reality shows. Stripper reality shows are where strippers are, they're using their money to put themselves through school, or they're starting businesses, or they're taking care of their kids and their family. They're not out here just drugging and drinking and doing stuff like that. They're using their money for, to better their lives. So if stripping led her to drugs, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to lead her daughter to drugs. Hopefully her daughter will see how it ruined the mom's life, and she won't go down that road. So Bronwyn and her daughter, they talk about Bronwyn moving to Kentucky. And Bronwyn tells her daughter basically that she is worried that she's going to start using drugs, and she's trying to get her daughter to move to Kentucky with her. But her daughter says, I can't live with Chaz. You don't know this man. What are you talking about? You can't live with Chaz. I think that's rude and very judgmental. Because the man is short, you can't live with him? Because that's all you saw, and that's all you said about him, that he was short. So you don't even know this man to say you can't live with him. Anyway, Bronwyn starts to cry because she feels like she was a bad mother, because she was in jail for the majority of her daughter's life. In her confessional, Bronwyn said her and her daughter's father had done over 11 years in prison, so the daughter moved around to different family members. That's how she was raised, by being moved around to different family members. The daughter said that she understands that her mother has an addiction, and that that made it hard for her to be a mother. I think Bronwyn is feeling guilty because now she's leaving to go to Kentucky, and she's leaving her daughter behind. I think that's why she feels guilty. And then Bronwyn says she has to choose between her daughter and Chaz. No, you already chose Chaz. You married him 15 minutes after getting out of prison. You already chose Chaz. You guys are married. So what is she talking about? Oh, I got to choose Chaz over my daughter. I got to choose my daughter over Chaz. I don't know what to do. You already chose Chaz. So the next scene, Chaz picks them up from the hair salon, and he pays the bill, which comes up to $583 plus tax. Or no, just $583, no tax. $583. That much for a hair color? She must have gotten waxed or something else, because I don't think the daughter got her hair done. It was just Bronwyn getting her hair done. And that costs almost $600 to get your hair go from dark to light. That's crazy. So Bronwyn tells the camera that she would rather spend time with her daughter than with Chaz. That's so rude. You married him the day before. You haven't consummated your marriage. He's buying you hair color for your hair for over almost $600, and you'd rather spend time with your daughter? And this is the thing too. She has to live with Mike. Bronwyn has to live with Mike for 4 months. Chaz is not gonna stay in Portland for 4 months in a hotel. So he's gonna be going back to Kentucky himself. So spend time with Chaz, and then when Chaz leaves for Kentucky, then spend time with your daughter. I bet you wasn't spending time with your daughter before you went to jail. You were spending time with Aaron. You wasn't spending time with your daughter before you went to jail. Now all of a sudden you want to go spend time with your daughter. She's full of crap. And I don't understand why she can't consummate her marriage. I mean, what's stopping her from going to his hotel room to consummate the marriage? Why haven't they consummated the marriage? I don't understand what the hell is going on. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. And I want to say something about this 19-year-old and her breasts. This is not body shaming. I just don't understand why she's 19. She's still in her teens, and her breasts look like an 80-year-old woman's breasts. Her breasts are flat and laying down and all the way down to her navel. Why is her breast not nice and perky like a 19-year-old's breast supposed to be? I'm sorry if anybody think I'm body shaming. I'm just wondering why a 19-year-old has breasts like an 80-year-old woman. That's all. I just would like to know the answer to that question. And she needs to cover them up. They don't look good. Cover them up. Even her mother told her to cover them up. So they go out to eat. Chaz take them out to eat. And while they're waiting for their food to come, Bronwyn's daughter asks Chaz if he has any kids. And he says no, he doesn't have any kids. He just have cats. She asked him if he wants kids. And he said, no, not at this age. He doesn't want kids. He's 50, 55. How old is that man? I don't know. He's about 50, 55 years old. So he asked her about her situation. And she says she has a boyfriend. And he asked her if her boyfriend doesn't mind her stripping. She goes, yeah, he mind, but I got to do what I got to do. She didn't say those words exactly, but that's what she meant to say. That's what she's thinking. That's what, She got to do what she got to do. So what if her boyfriend is jealous, Then he says, I know your mother was a stripper also, but I'm not going to judge her. He didn't have to say all that. Leave it alone. So their food comes, and then Bronwyn's phone rings, and it's some guy named Courtney. And she has it on speaker, and Courtney asks her, so what are you doing? What's up? And she's like, oh, me and my daughter went to the hair salon. And then Chaz is saying, yes, and I got married. Tell him that you're married. So she goes, oh, yes, and I got married. And Courtney's like, so that means I can't call you? Then he goes, no, I'm only kidding. He goes, you got clothes in store. You got stuff in storage. When are you going to come get this stuff from storage? And she said, I'll call you and, let you know. And then when she gets off the phone with him, she goes, I love you. And Chaz has a problem with it, with her telling this guy, I love you. So she makes him feel bad for questioning her about, he wants to know, so what do you mean? You love him? Do you have a relationship with this guy? And she makes Chaz feel bad for asking her, for questioning her about this guy. And then he apologizes. So Chaz pays the bill, and then his card is declined. And then the daughter, she takes out her stripper money, because she said, I worked last night. And she took out all her money, and she paid the bill. Her little stripper money, she paid the bill. And Bronwyn seems embarrassed. Chaz seems embarrassed. And the daughter says, she thinks Chaz is hiding something. Chaz ain't hiding nothing. He's paying for your mother to do this, do that, go here, go there, buying her this, buying her watches, buying her boots, buying her all kinds of stuff, and paying for her hair to get peroxide. And he's out of money. He's running out of money. I don't think he's hiding anything. Your mom is expensive, and he's running out of stuff. He's running out of money because he's buying her all the stuff. That's what's up. Anyway, that's the end of Bronwyn and Chaz. Next is Indy and Harry. Indy and her daughter, they're sitting down playing with dolls when there's a loud banging on the door. It turns out it's her mother and her sister. And Indy doesn't understand how her mother found her because she didn't give her mother the address. So Indy tells her mother that Harry is not staying at the house and she doesn't know who he's staying with. And I don't understand why Indy is still there. It's obvious that Harry does not want to be in the same place that she is. That's why he's not living there anymore. He's not staying with Lydia anymore. He violated his parole just because he didn't want to be around her. So that should tell her that Harry does not want anything to do with you. So I don't understand why she's still there. Plus, he's cheating on her. When is she going to get the picture? When is she going to say, ding, 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 this man wants nothing to do with me. Let me take my butt back to Maryland. When is that going to happen? So Indy tells her mother that Harry is cheating on her, but she still loves him. And that's when her mom said, well, what's love got to do with it? So the mother told Indy to leave Harry and just go on with her life because Harry doesn't care about her. He's with someone else. And I think Harry wants her to leave. This is the message he's sending to her. That's why he moved out of Lydia's house and changed his house to Carla's house, his sister Carla's house, because he doesn't want to be with Indy. And that's his way of telling her, I don't want to be with you, so leave. Instead of him actually being a man and coming out and saying, Indy, I think you should go back to Maryland. This is not working out. I want to see other women. Instead of doing that, he runs to his other sister's house. So the mother told her to call Harry. So Indy calls Harry and tells him that she wants to talk to him. And he says, okay, pick me up at my sister Carla's house. So the mother calls the son and tells the son that she's in Ohio. And the son got jokes. He wants to know if the mother, K-I-L-L-E-D, Harry, yet. I don't think you can say that word on YouTube, so I'm spelling it out. He wants to know if the mother, K-I-L-L-E-D, Harry, yet. She let the son know. She let the son talk to Indy, and the son told Indy that she needs to bring her butt back to Maryland. And the mother said, oh, she's coming home, and when she comes home, we're going to have a party. And Indy is talking about, I'm undecided. You're undecided, Indy? By now, you're still undecided? This man is not even living in the house because he doesn't want to be around you, plus he's cheating, but you're undecided because you love him. Girl. So the mother goes to pick up Harry. Harry thinks he's getting in the car with Indy. But then he realized, nope, it's Mama Yolanda that's in the driver's seat. So then they say, he said, what's up? She goes, what's up? And she starts to drive. And she tells Harry, let's cut to the chase. What's going on between you and Indy? The mother asks him, who is Terry and why is he always comparing Indy to Terry? You could tell Indy called her mom and told her mom he has this girl named Terry and he's comparing us every time we argue. He's saying when Terry doesn't do this, Terry don't do that, Terry doesn't do this, Terry don't do that. So that's what she probably tells her mother. Harry says Indy is the one that keeps bringing up Terry. But who is Terry? Who is Terry? She asked you who is Terry. You're saying Indy keeps bringing up Terry. So tell her who Terry is. He didn't tell her who Terry was and she didn't press the issue. Then she asked him why did he have Indy come to Ohio. And Harry told her basically Indy had options and one of her options was to come to Ohio and that's what she chose to do. She chose to come to Ohio. And the mother says, I'm a bounty hunter and I've seen it all before. She told him, so you got Terry and you got other girlfriends. And you should have told Indy not to come to Ohio. She told him Indy was crazy for coming to Ohio and Terry is stupid for being with him. And Terry is stupid for being with him because Terry lost her job lusting after Harry or messing with Harry. She lost her job. So she is stupid. So she told him, you went in jail at 17 or prison at age 17 and you came out at age 17. And Harry told her, you're talking, but you're not listening to me. That's what Harry says. And she told him, okay, talk. I'm listening. You have my undivided attention. Talk. And he basically has nothing to say. He said, you already made your mind up, so it doesn't make sense what I say. You said you wanted to talk. So he says, I'm wasting my time talking to you because you already made your mind up. She said, well, you're wasting my time. She said, you waste Indy's time, you waste Coco's time. And he told her, you're not giving me time to explain anything. And she told him he wasn't explaining anything. She told him what he's talking about is nothing but bullshit. And she said she don't believe a word coming out of his mouth. Then she stops the car and she tells him to get the F out. And he gets out and then we see him walking down a dark, lonely street all by himself. I'm pretty sure the producers picked him up and gave him a ride home. Let's hope he made it home before 10 so he doesn't break his curfew. That's the end of Indy and Harry. Next up, it's Taylor and Chance. Taylor and Chance are home. They are making jokes about her feeling better since he got a penis reduction because I guess it's his penis that hurt her side. I don't know. I've never heard of that happening. So Taylor tells Chance that Bobby is coming home. Chance says that Bobby deserves an apology. So Bobby comes home and Chance is being nice. He brings her suitcase in the bedroom for her. And Bobby and Taylor, they sit down and they're talking. They talk it out and they made up. And then Chance and Taylor, they go outside to talk. No, Chance and Bobby go outside to talk. And Bobby, she takes him to task. She told him, you have a short temper. You came in trying to change things. You came in trying to be the boss. And then he apologized. And he told her that he got Taylor a ring. He thought that would impress her. But Bobby tells him that it's too soon for you to get a ring. And Bobby told him that she will give her blessings, but if she sees him with an attitude or being short-tempered or anything shady, and she'll stop this wedding. The next scene is we see Chance and he's in his confessional, and the producer asks him if he is related to Brad Pitt, because he had said he was related to Brad Pitt. He said Brad Pitt is his cousin. He said his grandpa is his brother with Brad Pitt's father. So guess what? If this guy is saying he's related to Brad Pitt, who are we to say that he's not related to Brad Pitt? That was the end of them. Chance and Taylor. Next up, it's Lacey and Antoine. Lacey meets up with her sister without Antoine. Lacey's sister asks, where's Antoine? And Lacey told her sister that instead of coming to meet you, he wanted to go hang out with his homie. And the sister asks her, how has it been? And Lacey told her sister that she is stressed the hell out. Lacey told her sister that all Antoine does is bitch, moan, and gripe, and he's ungrateful. The sister advice is that he needs to have some responsibilities, because that's what life's all about, having responsibilities and taking care of your responsibilities. So while she's saying that, Antoine shows up. He pops up at the restaurant, and the sister is all excited to see him. She hugs him. And Antoine has a new tattoo on his face. And Lacey is not happy about this new tattoo. This fool, instead of trying to go get a job, he's putting tattoos on his face. Go get a job, Antoine. In her confessional, Lacey said a face tattoo is going to make it harder for him to get a job. And I agree with her 100%. So she's looking at the tattoo and she tries to touch it. He said, don't touch my tattoo, fool. Yeah, he needs to get a job instead of getting these tattoos. But I don't think he plans on ever getting a job. And why should he? She's taking care of him. You know? So the sister asks Antoine, what's his 5-year plan from now? And Antoine, he has no plan. He said he has no end game, no end goal. She asked him what's his end goal. He said he has no end goal. And he said he's just living day to day. He's not making no 5-year plan or anything like that. He said, I'm just living day to day. That means he don't plan to go to school. He don't plan to get a job. He just plan on sleeping, eating, and pooping like a baby does. Like a baby. That's what a baby does. Sleep, eat, and poop. Yeah. She asked him if he was grateful when he got out. He's what, grateful? Well, you don't know what she's talking about. What do you mean, grateful? Grateful? What are you talking about? Grateful? You don't know what she's talking about. So Lacey goes in on Antoine. She said, I have done everything for you. All you do is take. She said, then you spend money on this ugly ass tattoo that I don't like? Don't you think I can find somebody better who won't treat me like shit? This is the thing. She had a husband. She's had this husband for what, 20 years? Who was working, paying the bills. But she dumped him for Antoine. For this man-child criminal who was behind bars. That's who she dumped her husband for. Now she wants Antoine to be like her husband and have responsibilities and be grateful. Why did you dump your husband for this person who has no responsibility? Antoine has no responsibilities. He doesn't want any responsibilities. He never had any responsibilities. He probably don't even know how to spell the word responsibilities. What do you want from him? What do you want from this man? You met him when he was in jail for stealing cars and doing everything else, and now you want him to change and be like your husband that you dumped for him. I don't understand Lacey. I don't understand her. This is a man-child who doesn't know anything about being responsible for anything. He has no goals. All he wants to do is sleep, eat, and poop. And you're mad at him? Why? You dumped your husband for this. And now you're trying to change him to be like your husband that you dumped? It doesn't make sense. She's crazy. She's delusional. So Antoine, he's very nonchalant about everything. And Lacey told him, F you. She's going off on him, and then she said, F you. Then the sister starts going off on him. I'm like, I see why he didn't want to go meet the sister. And I'm feeling for Antoine, because they're both coming at him. And he's a man-child who doesn't know anything about responsibility, and they're yelling and screaming at him. Why? For what reason? Is that going to change him and make him grow up and be responsible? No. They're trying to make him be something that he's not. He's a man-child with no responsibility. Leave him the hell alone. The next scene, we see Antoine. He's in an Uber, and he's on his way to his mom's house. And it's a nice little house. I like that house. So him and his mother, they hug, and they're really happy to see each other. And Antoine said when he was growing up, his father was locked up for selling drugs, so he lived with his mother, and he's always been a mama's boy. He said his mother is his best friend. His mother asked him his plans, and he said his plans are getting used to being out. He has no plan. He has no plans. He's just going to get used to being out, and then whatever comes, whatever comes. He told his mother how Lacey and her sister, ganged up on him, and they did gang up on him. Antoine asked her if she's still drinking. He told her that he heard that her drinking was getting bad. She told him that she has cirrhosis. Cirrhosis? And I think cirrhosis is damage to your liver when you drink too much. And he asked her, what is cirrhosis? And she said there's 4 levels, and she's at level 4, and it's 4 levels than cancer, and she's at level 4, so she's almost at cancer. And she said the doctor told her if she stays sober for longer than 6 months, then she can get a transplant, a liver transplant, I guess. She'll go on the list, actually, to get a liver transplant. And Antoine says in his confessional that he doesn't think she can stay sober for that long. That's sad. She asked him if he was staying at Lacey's, and he says yes, but Lacey gets mad when he wants to go see other people. The mother told him that he can come stay with her. Antoine told her that she gets drunk and she says things to Lacey about him. And we saw when she did that. She was out to dinner with Lacey. She got drunk and she was saying that my son is trash. He's out in these streets doing this, doing that. So that's true. She does do that. But then she apologized to him for that. Antoine told his mother to side with him, not with Lacey. He told his mother to go to dinner with Lacey and to make up with Lacey. And then the mother said, okay. The mother told Antoine that his exes are contacting her, trying to get a hold of him. And Antoine says he's talked to a couple of his ex-girlfriends. And the mother said, you're supposed to be faithful. And Antoine said, ain't nothing wrong with talking to his exes. That doesn't mean he's not. He says that doesn't mean he's not being faithful. And I beg to differ. I wouldn't want my man talking to his exes. And Lacey ain't going to want that either, Antoine, okay? So then the mother told the camera that Antoine has never been faithful. And that's the end of Antoine and Lacey. Next up, Rick and Radine. So Rick and Radine are they're riding on his motorcycle, and they go to the store to get a jacket for Radine, a leather jacket. So he buys her this cute leather jacket. I like that leather jacket. And he pays $250 for it. But they didn't buy helmets. None of them have helmets. That's the first thing I would have bought, is a helmet. So the camera shows what's his name? Rick's boots. And his boots are falling apart. And his jacket also is falling apart. He needs to buy himself some boots and jacket. So they get back on the bike and they ride off and they stop at this wall and they're sitting on this wall and they're talking and Rick starts talking about Kay. And Raiden, she gets upset that he's always bringing up Kay. So she tells him that he pisses her off when he brings up Kay. So Rick tells her he wants to be her first choice. No, Rick, you don't want to be her first choice. You want to be her only choice. You know, why do you want to be her first choice? You want to be her only choice. So she tells him that he is a choice. I think I'm missing something here. So she asks him if he can put her on his social media as being in a relationship with her, and she said, no, you shouldn't need to do that. You should trust me. He said he just wants to shout out to the world that he's in love with her. So she said, go ahead and do it. So he shouts out, I'm in love with this girl, or whatever. But she never shouted back out that I'm in love with Rick. So there you have that. I think she should have shouted back out that she loved him too, but she never did. In her confessional, Raiden said she is not ready to tell Rick that she and Kay are married because she's not ready to look like the bad guy. Next scene, Raiden and Rick are outside of his house and they're drinking coffee and smoking cigarettes. They must have lovely breaths, right? Drinking coffee and smoking cigarettes. They must have the loveliest breaths. Anyway, they go into the garage and Rick brings up her staying with her parents instead of staying with him. And Raiden tells him that she is tired of talking about the same old shit. She tells him that she is not moving into his house and she is sick of him trying to guilt trip her into it. And Rick told her he was trying to help her. No, Rick, you're not trying to help her. You want her to move into your house so you can have sex with her every night. You're trying to help yourself to her body. You're not trying to help her. Stop it. So, while they're talking, her phone rings and she goes, she walks away to take the call. And it's her father. And she tells her father, I'm dealing with Rick right now. Please call me later. All right. So she goes back over to Rick. And after she hangs up the phone, she goes back over to Rick. And Rick says, is that your pet convict? Is that your pet convict? And you should have seen the look on, well, if you watch it, you saw the look on Raiden's face. Raiden was not happy. Raiden tells him, don't you ever call her that again. And then Raiden goes off on Rick. He's sitting on his bike, smoking a cigarette, and she is going off. In his confessional, he says, as far as Raiden's relationship with Kay goes, I've had enough. That's what he says in his confessional. So Raiden says to him, Kay is a good effing person. So Rick he gets sarcastic now. He says, I guess we'll find out in 4 years because she's crooked. Because she's sorry. I think that's better. Because she's in for 4 years. He said, I guess we'll find out if she's a good person in 4 years. And Raiden says, if you're around. I said, oh my gosh. Wow. Then she tells him she's getting pissed and she wants to beat the shit out of him. And she's going to walk away before she does something to get her thrown back in jail. She didn't say those words, but that's exactly what she meant. So she walks off. And she goes in the front and stand on the porch. And she's pissed. She's smoking her cigarette and she's pissed. So then Ramona comes out on the porch. Ramona is Rick's roommate. She comes out on the porch. And she asks Raiden, what's going on? And Raiden said, same shit, different day. Raiden tells Ramona that Rick doesn't understand why she wants to live with her, at her father's house. And Ramona tells Radine that she understands why Radine wants to live at her father's house. No, you don't. No, you don't. She wants to live at her father's house because she doesn't want to have sex with Rick. That's why. And Ramona doesn't want her there. I wouldn't want her there either. This is my roommate, and then the roommate's going to bring in his girlfriend, and I'm paying half the rent. The roommate should start paying. Rick should start paying a little bit more to compensate for his girlfriend. And I wouldn't want her there either. Anyway, Ramona basically says to Radine, you don't really have any feelings for Rick. And Radine says it takes time to start an emotional connection with someone. So she's admitting that she has no feelings for Rick. And Ramona told her, if you don't have feelings for him, then leave him the hell alone. Then she said, you don't care about him the way he cares about you. True. That's true. Ramona told her that she is not committed to Rick. She said, you're not committed to him. You don't even want to put on social media that he's your boyfriend. And then Ramona told Radine, he supported you for 4 years. And then Radine, she's getting pissed now. Radine told her, she said, you act like you know everything, but you don't know everything. And then Radine told her, you don't know me. Nobody knows you. What are you talking about? So they argue, and then Ramona goes back into the house. And Ramona tells the camera that she said Rick and Radine's relationship is dumpstified. And she said Rick deserves someone who loves him for him and not his paycheck. And then we see Radine driving off in his little car. And that was the end of Rick and Radine. The last but not least is Kayla and Martell. So last episode we saw Kayla got upset and drove off because Martell wanted to go get a haircut. And she wanted to go get something to eat. Y'all, I don't like Kayla. I don't like Kayla. Kayla is rude. She's disrespectful. And she's just out of control for me. I don't like her. This is her crimes. She wants to put a tracker on his phone. That's a no-no. Nobody would be putting no tracker on my phone. Twice now, she was supposed to pick him up from the halfway house, and she's late picking him up from the halfway house. The first time he comes to the apartment, it's messy. Why was the apartment messy? Why couldn't you clean up? It's just one person. Clean up after yourself. They're arguing. While they're arguing, she tells him she's going to slap the shit out of him. That's a no-no. That's a no-no. Don't put your hands on him. You don't want him putting his hands on you? Don't put your hands on him. This time before, she was supposed to pick him up. She left him standing out there in the cold with his luggage for almost an hour waiting on her. Why? Why are you late? It's after 10 o'clock. It's almost 11 o'clock. And you are late because you overslept? What time did you go to bed? To oversleep and didn't pick him up until 11 o'clock. That's crazy. So, it's now 11:30 and he wants to go to the barber shop. And she's mad. She gets mad and she drives off. And now she drives back. And I think she's being a bitch to the producer. She comes back and the producer has to ask her to put her window down so they can talk to her. So she can talk to her. Excuse me. She asked the producer, where's Martell? Did he go back inside? Did he go into the barbershop? I don't like her attitude, the way she's talking to the producer. You wouldn't talk to me like that. And she's venting to the producer, saying how they should have gotten breakfast instead of gone to the barbershop. For one thing, if you were on time picking him up, you could have went to breakfast and then take him to his barbershop. Maybe he had an appointment at 11. You almost effed up his barbershop appointment. It's all her fault, but she wants to blame him because she wants to go eat. You didn't want to eat at 8 o'clock. You didn't want to eat at 9 o'clock. You picked him up at 11 something. Past breakfast time. You should have gotten up in time so you could have picked him up and go have breakfast. And then he go do his barbershop thing. But no, you're late picking him up and you're pissed because you can't go to breakfast. He has to go to his appointment, his barbershop appointment. She is something else. Now, where was I? If she had any sense, what she would have done is, if she's so hungry, Let him go to his barbershop appointment, then you go pick up some breakfast for the both of y'all, since you're so hungry. But no, what she decides to do is to get pissed and go the hell off. And drives off. Then she's back. Now she's back. So earlier I said she was rude, disrespectful, and out of control. I'm going to add something to that. She is rude, disrespectful, out of control, and she is selfish. Because all she wants to do is go have breakfast. She don't give a damn that this man had an appointment to go get a haircut. She don't give a damn that he was outside standing out in the cold for almost an hour waiting for her to pick him up. And almost misses his appointment. She don't care about none of that. All she care about, I'm hungry, I want to go eat. So I'm going to add selfish to that. So Martell is done getting his haircut. He gets in the car and he asks her if she's straight. She said no. He asked her how does he look? She said, you look okay. He asked her, why is she quiet? Why did he ask her that? Why did you ask her that? Because everything was going good. She was being quiet. So now she starts. She's going off on him. In his confessional, he said when he was in prison and she would go off on him, he would just hang the damn phone up. But now you can't hang the phone up because she's right here in your face. What I would do, she's going off screaming, just going off on him. I would just drive myself to my mom's house and then let her drive back to the apartment. So then Martell, she's going off about, no, you have to go get your hair cut. You have to go get your hair cut. And you just want to do what you want to do. So he says, so I have to ask you if I can go get a haircut? And that shuts her up. She didn't say nothing after that. The man wants to go get a haircut. What do you want from him? He said, well, I'm hungry and all you want to go do is get a haircut. You didn't even tell me. Or you just want to go. And he said, I got to ask you permission to go get a haircut? And that just shuts her up. If she had picked him up on time, she could have had breakfast. And then he could have went to his appointment. So they start arguing. And he tells her to lower her voice because her voice is just up here. And he tells her to lower her voice. Her voice got to be up here. She's just going off louder and louder and louder. So she starts naming everything she has done. I paid the car note. I paid the car insurance. I paid for the apartment. I buy furniture. I buy the food. Blah, blah, blah. She's just going off. That was your choice, Kayla. You choose to move from one state to another state to be with this man who was in prison for 13 years. And you choose to get an apartment. You choose to get the car. You choose to pay all these bills. This is what you choose to do. So don't throw this in his face saying, I paid this, I paid that. What are you bringing to the table? The man just got out of jail for being in jail for 13 years. What can he bring to the table right now? What can he bring to the table right now, Kayla? What? You just picked him up from the friggin' halfway house. What do you want him to bring to the table right now? How about he's bringing his penis? Because that's what you want. Like, she asks him she picks him up from the halfway house, and now she wants to know what does he bring to the table. She's naming off everything that she has done. Without him, she would still have an apartment. She would still have a car. She would still have a car note. Say he's not in the picture anymore. She would still have an apartment to pay the rent on. She would still have a car to pay the car note and the car insurance on. She would still have to buy groceries. So what is she talking about? I pay the rent. I pay the car note. I pay the car insurance. You would still have to do that with or without him. So what the hell is she bitching about? She's ridiculous. So he pulls over, and he told her she sounds stupid as F, and she tells him to get the F out, and he tells her, you don't put me out of anything. And I'm glad he said that, because he would have gotten out and do what? He said, you don't put me out of anything. And she didn't really want him to get out. So he starts driving, and she told him that he's about to lose the best thing he ever had. And he said, don't flatter yourself like that. I love it. I love his comeback. She's ridiculous. Next scene, we see Kayla in a hotel room, and she said she needed her own me time. Martell was in prison for 13 years. You had 13 years of me time. You need more me time? Yeah, right. She went to a hotel room because she wants him to sit around and wonder, what's she doing? Where's she at? Who's she with? That's the only reason she didn't go back to the apartment, because she wants him worried about, where's she at? What's she doing? She with somebody? But he's not stressing her like that. He's not stressing her like that. Kayla likes to play games. She said Martell is on home confinement at her apartment. So she knows he really can't go anywhere. So he's stuck. I don't know why these guys do that. Why not do that at your mom's house? Why do that at with your girlfriend? Because now when you argue, you still have to stay there. So he has to stay there. She said he's on home confinement at her apartment for 2 months. So he's locked down there for 2 months now. Anyway, we see Martell. He's outside the apartment smoking. And he said Kayla did not come home last night. And he said that was the best thing for her to do, not come home. He's not stressing about her or what she's doing. He says good for her to stay out and cool off. So she comes home. They sit down and talk. She apologizes. He apologizes. Then they go into the bedroom and have sex. And that's the end of Kayla and Martell. And that's the end of my review. Next week, it's going to be the finale. Thank the Lord. Thank you. I'm so sick of these people. But they didn't mention Kevin and, what's her name? Tiffany? I want to know what's happening with Kevin and Tiffany. Hopefully we'll see what happens with them next week. They probably just went their separate ways and that's it. But yeah, I want to see Kevin again. Kevin is hilarious. But this is the end of my review. Thank you so much for watching. Princess on a Pillow here.